Good evening, Mother Zambia. Good evening, wherever that you are catching us from. Welcome to the special interview that we have for you right here on Ubuntu channel. You are welcome, and we are glad that you have made time to join us right here on this very platform and get to discuss pertinent issues. I am your host, Lance Sanibanda, and this evening on this program, we are taking you through for 45 minutes, having to discuss something of great importance. And of course, as our core mandate as a media of making sure that we get to inform you or we get to be the link between you, our lovely viewer, and the people that be in governance. We have brought this special interview just for you so that you can get answers for the different questions that you have. My guest this evening is police spokesperson, Mr. Rae Hamoonga. Mr. Hamoonga, good evening and welcome to this special interview.
Good evening, Lance, and good evening to our listeners out there.
Thank you so much for having time to come through and answer a few questions that have been going on in the country pertaining to the security situation in the country. All right.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, great. So, of course, our dear viewer, we are talking about the security situation in the country, as well as the current happenings that have been going about the safety of you, the community member, as well as people living in different societies. Last time when we had Mr. Hamoonga, obviously, he gave a very detailed information on where we are in terms of security in the country, and we thought it wise as Ubuntu channel to bring him back and just get to give us an update before the end of the year where we are at in terms of security and talking about safety for a general citizen that is living in this beautiful country, which is called Mother Zambia. You will be given a chance to come through in the studio to ask a question, share a view, as well as also express a concern that you have in the security situation of the country. It will be glad to also know that you get to share this particular broadcast. Mr. Hamoonga, a quick one. Where are we in terms of security in the country for the general citizenry? And how far has the Zambia police gone in terms of sensitizing to the people on how they can be safe from different vices that is injurious to their safety?
Okay, thank you very much. That is a very pertinent question, and it's very important that we discuss it and be able to explain to the public. You may be very much aware of the fact that as police, when the new command was put in place, they have been working to ensuring that every citizen enjoys the freedom that is enshrined in our constitution. And when we are talking of enjoying of this freedom, we meant enjoying it in reality and not just by word of mouth. And we are sure, remember the head of state, the moment he took over office, he mentioned that he wanted to have the rule of law to reign supreme in this land. And the most difficult aspect was the issue of cadres in the marketplaces and in the bus stops. And I think I don't need to belabor myself to explain what is happening now in the markets. You are aware that now everybody is able to trade freely without intimidation. Of course, that's not to say that there are other criminal elements who still think that they can continue doing the way they used to do things in the past. But suffice to state that at least there is now sanity that has come at play in the markets. There's no more cadreism that we used to see in the past. And the police, as police, we have taken it very seriously, and we are actually time and again checking on the markets to see that there are no mushrooming criminal elements that may want to take advantage of the situation. at a stage where we're now trying to transition into our residential areas so that also people in the residential areas can feel free. And we are trying by all means to encourage members of the public to form neighborhood watches so that of maintaining law and order in these communities. And also, you may be aware that once the criminals know that this neighborhood is organized in the form of a neighborhood watch, the neighborhood watch is patrolling together with the police. So it means the neighborhood watch is complementing the efforts that the police are doing
Thank you so much, Mr. Hamoonga, for that update. Now, we have seen, or citizens have experienced quite a number of shocking things in terms of their safety and security. And I would like to talk about them. I would like us to address them issue by issue, or maybe blanket them in one way, and then we get to attend to them as they are supposed to. The first thing that I would like to engage you into is the issue of cyber crimes. Many times we have seen people complaining that they receive messages awe indarama shenu sharifu moku tumeni NRC mkese senda o tumeni pini twala tumapa mobile money. All these sorts of things are happening when we have the cyber law into act. How is the police ensuring that cyber crimes are being dealt with, especially for the individuals that are perpetrating this vice?
Okay, thank you very much. The issues of cybercrime issue to us as Zambia police. First of all, what we should understand is that cybercrime occurs at a point where the police are not present. In as much as we would want to be present, but it's not possible. For the simple reason that we know that every citizen enjoys, he or she has her mobile phone, and then somebody calls, sends a message telling her or him that you have won a lottery, or you have qualified for a loan for 3,000 kwacha, and then you need to pay 300 kwacha for it to be situation. You have not applied for any loan, and you have this message coming into your phone saying that you need to pay 300 kwacha for it to be paid 3,000 kwacha. Why not just tell that person, say, well, since you are telling me that I've qualified for a loan for 3,000 kwacha and I need to pay 300 kwacha, so which means at the end of the day I'll walk out with 2,700 kwacha. Just tell him, okay, send me the 2,700 kwacha since I've already qualified for that loan. Because if I'm qualified for 3,000, you can knock out whatever expense you need to do. Now, this also has an element of being greedy. There's no way you can win something. This is why people want, of course, we are used as police all the time. We want to blame us, even where we are not necessarily don't need to be there. But the remedy that is there, that is provided for in the cyber law, is that if somebody commits a crime like that, he must be arrested and prosecuted. Secondly, the other issue which was a problem, which has become a problem in this cyber law, cyber crime, is the fact that you are aware that when people were registering these SIM cards, for instance, like yourself, you go to a booth, you want to buy a SIM card, you go to see a mobile agent, you give them an NRC. You leave your NRC, a photocopy of NRC, you register your SIM card, and then off you go. Somebody else comes, he has no NRC. So that mobile agent, since him or her wants to sell more SIM cards, they end up registering setting another SIM card registered on your names again. Okay? So What was that? What was happening that as police, when you start tracing the person behind that cyber crime, you find that we actually find wrong persons. Okay, but thanks very much to Zicta also for being proactive. You are aware that now they have come with a program of trying to deregister these SIM cards. Okay, if you receive a number from a phone number from any number which has sent you a message, which message you feel wants to defraud you or commit a crime, you are free to report it to Zicta on 7070, and then Zicta will deactivate that number. And also, I'm aware that Zicta has also come with a code, if I'm not mistaken, it should be star 101 hash, I think, where you can dial that number and check how many numbers are registered against your name. And then if you see that there are numbers which you're not sure of, you can have them deregistered or stopped so that they're not used, so that people cannot commit crime with these numbers. Now, what is important for us as citizens is that we need to educate each other. Like I've said, certain things really just go for personal security. Because, for instance, even when you are on your own on Facebook, somebody sends a posting saying, "No, I'm selling such things," and especially actually around this time, just when we're about to get paid, especially civil servants, you see a lot of adverts on Facebook encouraging people. No, I'm selling this. I'm selling a plot cheaply. I'm selling clothes, and the prices are very, very attractive. Okay, and no wonder they say cheap is expensive. So around this time, when before we get paid, you find that there will be a lot of adverts that are going there. No, I'm selling iron sheets. I'm selling this. Now, our trust as police that we have been encouraging members of the public is that if somebody is telling you that I'm selling iron sheets, where has he delivered these iron sheets? Where is his physical or her physical or, address? Most of these people that who have had cases relating to these cyber issues find that they like hiding behind the cyberspace. So they may not even have an office, and people end up sending money to them. You cannot just be transacting like that. That's very dangerous, because they know, for instance, that you will not catch them because they are right behind the scenes. We have also had scams where people will tell you, no, you put in maybe 2,500, then they say that maybe after 2 weeks we'll pay you 4,500 quite. Now, my little civic, but as we didn't do this civic education, we were doing civics when I was learning at school. I remember very well. One of the qualities of money is scarcity. Money should not just be found anywhere. No, then that shouldn't be money then. Money should be scarce. Of course, the other values like money should have, it must be variable and it must be durable. So the fact that money is scarce, we must be very careful when somebody is offering you money. Why is he offering you money of all the people? So, in issues of cyber crimes, yes, we have had a toll order, but we are getting there. We have had operations together with the Zicta and even working with other security agencies to ensure that we bring this thing to a stop. But however, it requires more of the citizens' participation by being vigilant. Because you see, like I said, at the point when they're interfacing with these criminals, the police has no role actually also to play. The other thing which has also been a bit of a problem is the fact that, as police, we do not regulate these phones. These phones are regulated by the mobile subscribers. So even when we want to make a follow-up or investigate, we have to go through the mobile providers. And again, it also brings us back to the issue of privacy. So you find that when you submit a request, it will take maybe 1 week or so for them to come out. But meanwhile, those persons that actually have done the crime, they know that they're being pursued. And 1 week is a long period of time for somebody even to go out of the country or go somewhere. So we need actually to help each other to educate our public how to use social media, how to use our phones.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Hamoonga. Just a word to our viewers, make sure that you come through by either clicking on the link that we have shared for you in the comments box, as well as leave a comment underneath this broadcast. Ask a question, express a view, and we'll be glad to hear from you. Or our guests will be glad to respond to your various messages and questions that you get to leave under this broadcast. Remember, we are looking at recent events and general security concerns regarding the security of Mother Zambia. Moving away, Mr. Hamoonga, from the issues of cyber crimes, let's get to the issues of that gets to do with communities. I know you spoke of neighborhoods, forming neighborhood watches and everything, but let's look at the role of the police in this particular community. Obviously, the presence of a police post or a police station is not only to have criminals in police cells, but also to do patrols to see to it that crime rate gets to tone down or go down in these communities. Many concerns have come through to the media that the police are not doing much in terms of this. They are not helping at all. In fact, others even have claims which are unsubstantiated that the police somehow help these criminals to go about freely in these communities, and junkies are terrorizing them freely. The police are helping them in one way or the other. What's your reaction to that?
Thank you very much. The problem that we have been having on issues relating to junkies is one problem. The problem I've had is one. Actually, there are about two of them. You know that when people in the compounds see a journalist walking around with a camera, that's an opportunity for them to be seen on television. Unfortunately, even our journalists, maybe because of tight schedules of wanting to beat the deadline, they will just interview this person and then come to the police, come to my office for a comment, say, no, Mr. Monga, we've been to this compound and people are complaining about junkies. And I asked them one question: have they reported these matters to the police? Of course, others do report, but the majority of them, these cases go unreported, and people just want to talk for the sake of talking. Because when you go on the ground at the police station, you find that these reports are not there. And now you know that you can only institute criminal proceedings two ways in this country. One is by making a formal report at a police station. Two is by instituting legal proceedings in the courts of law. Now, if these two are not met, even when you have been beaten by a junkie and you don't make a formal report at a police station, that case will not be prosecuted because there's no formal report. So the biggest problem I've had in this case is people at times they talk too much. Others just talk from an uninformed position where maybe something used to happen in the past and then they want to just repeat it without seeing a cameraman coming. No, these things happening. So these are some of the issues that we have had as police, that the reports are not coming forth to the police station. In most cases, people complain. We ask them, we go on the ground to check officers that don't have these reports. So this calls for concerted effort that the members of the public also have a duty to report the cases at the police station, because once people are apprehended, we have a record that we can refer to and also prosecute these persons. Because without a formal report, we cannot prosecute. You know that on a case of report,
on that one, Mr. Hamoonga, we had a case somewhere in, it should be Karikiriki Ward 39, I think, if I'm not mistaken, where this family was attacked by junkies. They reported it to the police. The police apprehended these junkies, but to the surprise of the complainants, those junkies were released the following day without engaging the people that went to complain to the police. Is it true that some officers are working with these junkies?
Well, I would have loved to, if you gave me more details so that I make a follow-up, because you know at times people just speak from out of ignorance. For instance, if we apprehend somebody and then I come and ask you, is this the person that attacked you? Okay, and then you say he's not the one. Then it means that's not the right person. Secondly, also, when somebody has committed a crime, in as much of rights, yourself, the complainant, have a right to come and complain to the police. Even the person that has apprehended also has got some rights. For instance, a right to police bond. Now, in the compounds, unfortunately, if somebody has been arrested and given police bond, well, what comes out is he has been released. Even if he's going to be appearing for court, say no, he has been released. Vamuchosa, Vamulega, I think so also I was saying this case, I would have loved if you could just give me some details over this case so that I can make a follow-up. You know, I receive a lot of cases. But there's no way any police officer can apprehend somebody who has committed a crime and then release that person for no reason at all. However, if it happens like that, it's not authorized, and we can follow it up and ensure that the right thing is done.
All right, so still talking about the security of the community, the police service has, since time immemorial, introduced the issue of what is that?
About what? About what?
No. The arrest of somebody that goes out in awkward hours.
Okay, loitering.
Shishita, yes. So now, there's a case which happened in Kanyama at Los Angeles police post, where people, or the complaint which is there, people complain that vakapokola, it's like kuli bantu bebaziba bakutira nje okutuba mupeza enda usiku swanga mugwire, then they have a target of people bogwira for shishita. How is shishita supposed to be executed? Then what is the charge for this shishita, or what's the penalty for somebody that is found loitering on awkward hours?
Okay, thank you. The issue of loitering, first of all, let me make it very clear. Loitering can be applied at any time of the day. How is it going? How is it applied? It's a situation where you are found in a place where you're not supposed to be found. For instance, if you go to ZNBC transmitters there, you are aware that transmitters for ZNBC are meant to transmit airwaves for the country. Then you just start moving around in there. Definitely, you can actually be charged for loitering. That is about the issue of loitering. Now, for people that are in the night, who move, maybe like shift officers who work late in the night, the simple way of going around it is that you register yourself with the officer in charge of your local police station. It's the matter of just telling them that, okay, myself, I work late, so you might find me working around between 3 hours, 24 or 01. And also, what we should understand is, in the night, in as much as of freedom of movement, yes, it's there. But are we going to be moving around anyhow? Passing through people's yards at 01? Okay? And it's for this reason that actually police officers conduct patrols, because if you have been found, really, if you are found, where are you going? You explain yourself. If you have a better explanation, officers are supposed to understand and also let you go where you're going. But the essence of patrolling is to ensure that we isolate the criminals and those persons that actually are not supposed to be, who are supposed to be moving freely at that particular time of the night. Because you know very well that these criminal activities, they happen in the night. They happen in the night when we are sleeping. So our role as police to ensure that we get rid of criminal elements in the night who want to take advantage of the freedom of movement by actually committing crimes in the name of freedom of movement.
Mr. Hamoonga, this time I would like to I would like us to make the Zambian people understand or appreciate the challenges that the Zambia police service faces. Many a times, as this, we tell them as jokes. Oh, yeah, bwana kabakti palibe motoka titumire za fuelo obasenzesa mfuti bwanji. As much as these are jokes, sometimes it is true where a complainant is asked to kuguliramo fuelo mu motoka yabakapokola o kapena njere wamenewe booking a taxi, then let's go and pick up this criminal. What are the challenges that the Zambia Police Service faces, especially when it comes to administration, movement, logistic wise, in terms of combating crimes in different areas?
Okay, thank you very much. In as much as we have these challenges as Zambia Police Service, our challenges are not insurmountable. We have always been able to bring them forward to the government, which is you people who actually are the government. Now, what we have is that of course there are teething things just like any institution might have problems in issues of transport, issues of fuel. Yes, because you know that our vehicles, police vehicles, actually they are on 24/7 actually. Or what happens is we ourselves we would like maybe knock off and then other persons continue. So we have, of course, these challenges at times in terms of maybe fuel and even transport. So as police, what I want to guide is that in an instance where we have a challenge of fuel or transport, and where we request a member of the public to provide that necessity, we want to make it very clear that that necessity, that help should just be necessary for ensuring that it just goes towards executing what is supposed to be executed. For instance, if we say put fuel in the vehicle, it must be actually where you put the actual fuel in the vehicle, and that fuel should be commensurate to the distance where you're going. For instance, if you are going to a place which needs 2 liters or 3 liters, then you must put 3 liters. That's it. It should not be a question of you putting 40 liters when you are going for a distance where you're going to 3 liters, because that's not right. So in an instance where if you are requested to put fuel, ensure that you put the actual fuel, not the money. You put the fuel in the vehicle so that the fuel is enabled to is just there to facilitate the officers to move to where they are going and apprehend such a person. If you are providing a transport, you provide transport for people to say if the person is in Chawama, you're coming from town, you should go up to Chawama and come back.
All right. Thank you so much. At this time, let me get to allow people to come in and ask different questions that they have. Our viewer, you can join us in the studio by clicking on the link that we have shared for you right there and ask your question. We already have somebody in the studio, Lawrence. Let's get to see if we can accommodate him and get to have an interaction with him. Lawrence, hi, good evening. Lawrence, are you there? Lawrence, we're unable to get you.
Maybe it's not it hasn't maybe it's still on mute.
It appears his network is pretty bad. Lawrence, try to join us again and let's see if we can have you. Mr. Mukeleba, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening. How are you? Rae Hamoonga Muchwani.
Waikola ndate mina muchwani.
Biketile kuva tafera kwano. It's quite cold now. We are getting into winter.
Yeah, munyande kanti amateko kuta kwaruna kanti.
Yes, no. Our eyes, our hearts are back home, even when we are far, 10,000 kilometers away from home, but our hearts are back home, and we are watching, we are listening to what is currently going on, and we are happy to see how you are executing your duties diligently, and now people are celebrating that you are able to give them police bonds, and those cases that are bondable, and those that are bailable, and those that are not, you speed up cases and they go to court promptly, which is very good. And we really thank you. We wish you guys to continue with such kind of a spirit. Now, my question, Badala, is our investigative teams or wings. We have so many cases that are pending, awaiting being adjudicated or by the courts, and our prosecutors that are coming from you, from the police. We feel that there are so many adjournments, and they seem to be not equipped or ready to go ahead with most of the cases. I don't have a specific case to refer to, but it seems most of the cases are really not have been discontinued, or they have been adjourned unnecessarily because of circumstances on our prosecution aspect. Do we have enough manpower? Are our officers well equipped, ready to pursue these matters that are being brought before the courts, especially cases of public interest? Are our officers well equipped, or do we need to outsource from externals, from other foreign countries, to come and beef up the support? If there is that provision, can we help if they are failing?
Thank you so much, Womo Kerebai. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your contribution. Mr. Hamoonga, before you respond to that one, let's get to accommodate Lawrence back, and then you get to respond to the at least two questions. Lawrence, welcome back. Are you there now? Lawrence, we can't hear you. Lawrence, good evening.
You can't hear.
Okay,
you still can't hear me.
You are very skimpy. Please go ahead. You can ask your question. All right. We seem to have lost him due to connectivity. Mr. Hamoonga, I want you to respond to two questions. So the first one from Kerebai, let's get to accommodate Wellens. Wellens, good evening and welcome to the program. Wellens, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Lance. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
So,
how are we?
Not too bad, thank you. Just like Mr. Mukleva said, I'm really, really impressed as well. You know, the way the police is doing your duties. You are giving people bonds, and you are doing the right things. I think the president did a great job to give me the power, to give the legislation, all the institutions to work on their own, and you are doing your jobs, and we are seeing a lot of positivities. But I just wanted to find out. My question is, what is the law in Zambia, and what is the police reacting to, especially the people who are actually sometimes in the functions, dressing is very indecency. It's absolutely annoying against the policies and values of our country. as a Christian nation, and we see people the way they are dressing, they are copying dresses from Westerners, and then they bring it to our country. And what is the policy actually doing on that one? Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you so much, Wellens. We really appreciate you. Mr. Hamoonga, you can attend to the two questions as we await another batch of questions to come in.
Okay. Thank you very much, Womkerabai. The question you're asking about our investigative wings, saying there are too many cases and it's like there are too many adjournments, and do we really need to outsource prosecutors? Now, let me make this thing very clear. I know that from the inception, we had both the enforcement aspect and also the powers to prosecute somebody as Zambia police. But then if you may recall, we have this new institution called National Prosecution Authority, which is being headed by the DPP. So that is the institution that is mandated with the issue of prosecution. And I think you may be aware of what is happening now. I don't want to dwell on that aspect. So what we do as police or as investigative wings or law enforcement agencies that once you arrest somebody, you take the docket, you compile what is called a docket of case, where we have everything, all the evidence put together in form of documents, and then forward it to National Prosecution Authority. And then National Prosecution Authority rehearses with the courts on when the matter can be brought up for trial or commencement of trial. So our role as a law enforcement agencies just ends at us arresting somebody, gathering evidence, of course, first of all, then arrest that person, then take the matter to NPA or National Prosecution Authority, and these are people that actually are responsible for prosecuting somebody before the courts of law. Of course, this was done in the interest of not having the same person that are arresting and again they are prosecuting, because that way it's very easy to convict somebody, because you can actually maybe even create evidence for such a person. But what we do ourselves as police is that we compile these dockets, take them to NPA. NPA goes through them and say, yes, there's an offense here or there's no offense here. So that takes a bit of time, of course, because of that. But however, the issue of prosecution, I want to make it very clear that it's no longer under us as Zambia Police, but it's the preserve of the National Prosecution Authority, who are headed by the DPP or Director of Public Prosecution. Then the issue of what is the law in Zambia regarding to indecency. Let me make it very clear here. I remember I had an interview not long ago on our national television, and a journalist was asking me a question, say, we have seen men wearing female dresses. Why don't you arrest them? I said, these people could be homosexuals. I said, well, the points to prove sodomy is that somebody must have sex against order of nature. And of course, you know that that can only be proved by way of examining somebody by a medical doctor. A medical doctor has to examine that person and ascertain that yes, indeed, there was penetration through the anal, or maybe there was semen deposits through the anal, or maybe there are cracks. That's for the medical doctor to certify that, and that's something to be arrested. Now, our role as police is to enforce the laws that we have, not what people want to see, but what is in the law, what is written. So if a law is not written, then we have no business with that as police, because where are we going? Which court are we going to take that person? But if we have a law that is written, if there's a law which is written, say for instance, it says no man should put on a dress, it means you will not see any man putting on a dress, because you are going to arrest that person if there's such a law. Where it says again, no woman should put a dress or put a trousers, if there's such a law, we are going to enforce it. Now, on the issue of let me just also comment on the issue of indecency. Indecency, according to our laws, somebody must expose her or his private parts. So no wonder these people, you see these people that actually come out in the open, they're very clever. They have read the law and they have seen that, oh, the law says the private part. That's what what constitute indecency. So they can dress anyhow, but cover the private part. So even if you were to arrest such a person, you take him to court or her to court, it will not succeed, because the definition of indecency is that somebody should expose his or her private parts.
Very interesting there, Mr. Hamoonga, and thank you so much for the elaborativeness. Let's take another set of questions as we continue with the program. And with the sense of gender balancing, we have Nyachi Sengu right here to also is either ask a question, express a view, or maybe get to appreciate what the Zambia Police Service has done so far. Director, let's get to have Nyachi Sengu in the studio, and so that she can get to give her concern or get to ask a question, as well as also let's have Timothy come through as well in the studio and get to get to ask a question that they have. Mr. Hamoonga, as we wait for our studio commentaries to come through, earlier when we started the program, you spoke of professionalism returning to the police or in the police service. I would like to take you back to a scenario that happened during a certain protest that happened, should be some 2 weeks ago, where a certain doctor was protesting. First of all, let me do a recount for you. Back in 2016, me and my fellow colleagues as journalists on the ground, we were apprehended by the police, claiming that we were covering a function which was illegal, and that was Kawata police station. Officers from there bundled us up, threw us into the police cells. It had to take then Charity Katanga to phone in for our release. Just 2 weeks ago, journalists were bundled up again together with Dr. Sampa as they were covering that event. And it had to take you again to release these journalists. Could it be that there is still some element of unprofessionalism in some police officers? Before you answer that, let's get to attend to Nyachi Sengu. Nyachi Sengu, good evening and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, and great to see you all. Rae, you are doing a great job. You know how much I appreciate you, and it's Rome was not built in a day. You guys are doing a fantastic job, and I'm not here to pass any comments. All I want to say is, well done. Kudos to you. I was born in Kaunda era. I've never seen Zambia the way it is now. To be honest with you, whatever you're doing, you guys, kudos to you and the best of luck with everything. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nyachi Sengu. Let's get to bring in Timothy. Director, is Timothy still here? Timothy, hi, good evening.
I think he's on mute.
Timothy, are you able to get us? Well, as we struggle with Timothy, Mr. Hamoonga, perhaps you can attend to the question.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. You are saying that journalists being bundled in a police motor vehicle together with the Dr. Sampa. Now, when a crime has been committed, for it to be successfully prosecuted in the courts of law, you need witnesses. Now, what happened in the instance of Kawata, it's not necessarily that we detained journalists. In fact, I wish you were on our platform. We do have a platform where we interact with our journalists on a WhatsApp group. And I was actually jokingly telling them that you just being put in a police vehicle to say, let's go to a police station, you are saying I'm detained. I don't know what you are going to say the day you actually detained. You might even say that I've been killed. So what actually happened on that particular day is that this, of course, if we're going to prosecute, if we were going to prosecute Dr. Sampa, we actually needed witnesses to attest that they were at this particular point and that intentions of moving from one point to another. Okay, so journalists, you are aware that you are also a citizen. Before you are a journalist, you are a citizen. And if a crime is committed, if you are called upon by the state to come and give evidence, you're supposed to come and give evidence as a good citizen. Because, we don't want to promote illegality. No, none of us actually should promote illegality. As citizens, we should also be concerned. Except that we, as police officers, will put ourselves in the forefront, even ready to lay our lives in the interest of protecting or maintaining law and order. So, on that particular case, the truth of the matter, no journalist was detained. All what we did that day is we called journalists to the police station and asked them to give statements so they could give an account of how they found themselves there. So that if you're going to take the matter to court, we are going to have witnesses prosecute the person. And knowing journalists how loud-mouthed they are, someone would have already come up. Me, I was detained in Kawata police cells, and I gave a chance, and we mentioned, we said no journalist was detained. The mere fact that the journalists were seen put in the vehicle, others, the moment they were just put in the vehicle, they started calling their colleagues. I've been detained at Kawata police, saying, where have you been detained? You're not even in custody. What if you are detained? You won't even be able to speak that you are detained, because one, we're going to search you, we'll get your phones and put you in custody. So that is that. But the fact of the matter is that journalists that were at Kawata, they were not detained. Or what was happening there is formality, like it is in another crime. They were recording statements from them so that we prosecute, if we're going to prosecute that person. But fortunately, we have a human face as police. We did warn Dr. Brian Sampa that if you repeat this thing, you'll be arrested, because what he was doing is truly an off-assembly.
Okay. All right. Let's also get to. I know time is not our best ally. We spoke that we only keep you for 45 minutes, and we've already gone 2 minutes into your time. Let's get to accommodate one commentary in the studio, and then after that, we get to the messages that people have left through. Himba, good evening.
Good evening, Lance, and good evening, viewers.
It's you can please, okay, yes, please come through him, but you can make a comment, ask a question, or express a view.
Good evening, Lance. Good evening, viewers, once more. Good evening, Mr. Rae, and it's nice to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Mr. Rae, there's a story that we had two different information. Personally, I would really want to know what is on the ground over the man who died in Soweto. The police gave a statement, and also the UTH gave a statement. What is the facts on the ground? And why are we having two different statements from two government institutions? Please respond to that.
Okay. Thank you very much. That is a very important question, and I think we need to explain what happened. Now, in a normal setup, each institution has a role to play. For instance, university teaching hospital has no, what we would call, local standing or legal basis for them to comment on a sodomy case. Sodomy case is purely a criminal offense that is supposed to be commented on by the police and investigated upon by the police. No wonder you saw us that when she issued that statement saying that this person has been sodomized, we moved in. Of course, that case, first of all, wasn't reported at the police. It was just a way of them reporting that this person has been sodomized. And that's why The following day, we had to conduct a postmortem using a state pathologist, a medical doctor qualified for that matter, to check whether the allegations were true as they were being alleged by the UTH spokesperson. Now, the question that you may ask is, if the spokesperson for the UTH said that the person was sodomized, where was the postmortem conducted? Or in which body was the postmortem conducted? Because the only postmortem that was conducted was when after we issued a statement as police. So to cut the long story short, the fact of the matter is that that person was never sodomized. That person died of what is called disseminated tuberculosis in advanced immunization, whatever you call those terminologies. Immunization, whatever, I forgot that term, but and then he also had a growth on his ano. Okay, so the fact of the matter is that person was never sodomized. He had just had an illness which had affected his ano, and also that he had TB in a very advanced stage. So this is why at times, you wonder, even if that's why you saw even ZNBC apologizing, because they made a mistake. Because sodomy, it has nothing to do with the hospital. It has something to do with the police. The police working together with a state pathologist or a medical personnel. Who is the state pathologist? It's not all doctors that can conduct postmortem. It's only a pathologist that is able to conduct a postmortem, and we use the pathologist, the state pathologist, to conduct a postmortem to ascertain the actual cause of the death of that person.
Thank you so much. I would have loved to ask a follow-up question on that, but let's get to accommodate
Please, go ahead.
our viewers on.
No. Go ahead. We are here.
Let's accommodate our viewers on Facebook and Twitter. Definitely, I will come back for it, but I've asked many questions. Let's leave space for other people. So please do take note of the messages so that you can respond to them. So the first batch, this one comes from Ruben. He says, "Good evening, Lance and Rae Hamoonga. How far with the issue of gassing?" Thank you so much, Ruben, for that very important question. All right, so Wellens comes back in the commentaries and says, "Why do police charge the cybercrime reporters? They are told to pay at Airtel and the cases are taking so long. The investigation of corruption are not satisfactory. I'm sure even the government in office is not satisfied. No one is sentenced, even those who are in PF. Is our police competent enough to give enough information to the courts?" All right, so I'm sure what he tries to say is that why do the police charge people for cyber crimes, a reporter? So if I'm reporting a cyber crime, why am I made to pay for me to report that crime? Take note of this one. And then we can go to the next question. Chaza says, "What is the police doing on the growing cases of sodomizing, which is a byproduct of gayism, which is seemingly becoming dominant?" Thank you so much, Chaza, for that question. Let's get to read two more. All right, so Chaza comes back and says, "We hear police officers shooting themselves time and again. Does the police offer intense continuous counseling to the officers, especially that do work with such lethal weapons? Is there a deliberate policy on the issue?" Obviously, he's also trying to refer to the recent Ndola shooting right there. Let's read one last message and then accommodate Ribat in the studio. Director, can we have one last message? All right, let's get, it seems like our guest is having connectivity issues right there, but our viewers, we are so glad that you are coming through to come and ask different questions as well as offer your messages. Remember that you can leave a comment right there, ask a question, express a view, or share a comment right here. Be part of the program by either coming direct into the studio or get to join us by leaving a comment or a message through YouTube as well as Facebook. Remember, this is a special interview brought to you in discussing the recent events and general security concerns that have been raised by you, our lovely viewers, as well as the country at large. And our guest this evening is Rae Hamoonga, who is Zambia Police Service spokesperson. And also, just a reminder to our viewers, be rest assured that Pansaka is coming through right after this program. So Pansaka comes away every Thursdays, and we'll be able to accommodate you on that particular program. And today we still continue with remarriage, but looking at it in the law way. So we have a lawyer that is coming through, or that is on the panel, to help us understand with law in terms of remarriage. How does the law interpret remarriage? How does the law interpret one having a decision to marry another person? All right, so seems like we still continue having challenges with our studio guest, but be rest assured that our IT is working on it to make sure that he comes back and responds to the questions or the concerns that have come through. For you that have just joined us, this is a special program or a special interview that we have brought to you today on Thursday, talking about general security concerns. And our guest is police spokesperson, Mr. Rae Hamoonga, right here, as we discuss those pertinent matters or pertinent issues. And Mr. Hamoonga, welcome back. Network is really a challenge. Mr. Hamoonga, are you able to get me?
Was it only me or it was all of us?
It was only you.
Was it me only or it was everybody?
It was only you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
you so much.
A question that was it only me? Ah, really? Too bad. Okay.
Okay.
Let me try to attempt to respond to the question. Ah,
Please
really?
do.
No, we are waiting for the start with internet. Okay. I ended on the issue of suicide. Unless I don't know if there are any questions.
Yes. The issue of suicide was the last one.
Were there other?
All right. We seem to continue having network challenges with our guest, but as you have seen on our screen, Pansaka is coming immediately after this program. Please do not despair and do not leave, as we are making sure that we get to accommodate each and everyone right here on this very platform. In case you are new on Ubuntu channel, welcome to the family. We appreciate that you have joined us. We appreciate that you are a part of us, and definitely do not only end at joining us today, but join us each and every day that we have a program. Also, invite your family members, invite your loved ones, invite your neighbors to be part of Ubuntu, as we are here to make sure that we get to educate, to inform, entertain, motivate, as well as inspire you to be a good citizen that you are supposed to be right on this particular platform. Now, just to answer a few questions that come through from our viewers, we are yet to start broadcasting on terrestrial transmission. For now, we are strictly an online media channel that broadcasts on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitter, and we are glad that you join us. Like our page, follow our page, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll be glad to receive you, and we are happy that we are growing this particular family. This is a special interview that is brought to you courtesy of Ubuntu channel in conjunction with Zambia Police Service, right here, to make sure that we continue updating you on the security situation in the country, as well as answering the different questions, different concerns that which you raise as a citizenry. For now, let's get to go on a very short break. Very short break, and when we come back, we continue with the program as we also get to get ready for Pansaka. Mr. Hamoonga, welcome back. Thank you for rejoining. Please attend to the questions quickly.
I'm using yours.
Are you able to get me, Mr. Hamoonga? Director, let's go on a short break. Let's go on a short.
Ubuntu is a tradition that man, or indeed a human being, is born in. Naturally, we are born with Ubuntu.
Okay, the network is really getting me on my nerves now. Why do police officers make people pay for cyber? I'm getting
Ubuntu ni kusama. Ubuntu ni kukondana.
The desire to contribute to positive changes within rural communities is my strong motivation to work hard for my society. For me, that is Ubuntu.
Ubuntu means humbleness. Ubuntu means humility. Ubuntu means love.
Ubuntu is I'm a person because of a person. I'm really a person. I'm who I am because of who we are.
What Ubuntu means to me is the ability to look at the need of others and be able to put yourself in their position, be able to do something about it.
We're going to be offering some of our viewers more content. And apart from more content, we are going to expect our viewers to be participating more, and then we want also our viewers to also like our channel.
Yes, and they should like it on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and also on YouTube. And not to forget that our content is reliable. It's not fake news. We do not have fake news on this channel.
All right, thank you so much, and we are back from that particular short break. Thank you so much. Good to know that you are still tuned in and still watching this special interview. As soon as our guest comes back, we'll be quick to make sure that we get to respond to all the questions that which you have sent through, and get to appreciate you for who you are. In case you have just joined us, make sure that you get to stay tuned or stay connected, as we still have Pansaka coming through right after this very program. Now, just to give you a brief of how we run right here at Ubuntu channel. Mondays, we always have Ubuntu Health, where we get to bring to you a professional doctor and get to attend to all your healthy needs right here at 2030. That is every Monday. Then Tuesdays at 20 hours, we get to bring to you Lifestyle. Now, Lifestyle is an entertainment program that gets to feature your favorite icon, Zambian icon, brand influencer. We get to bring them on the show. They get to give us a brief history about how they managed to make it and how they have managed to stay as relevant as they are. Then on the same Tuesday at 21 hours, we always make sure that we also do not leave anyone behind. We bring to you the Ubuntu channel debate time, where we get to have different people coming through or coming in to share different sentiments or debate about different things that which we get to bring to you, pertinent issues as well as issues that border on our lives. Then Wednesday at 21 hours, we get to bring to you Meet Your Leaders. Meet Your Leaders is a program that is tailor-made to have you, our viewer, get to meet your preferred leader, be it government, be it community, be it social, be it health, as well as be it religious. We get to bring them right here on this platform. Thursday, like today at 21 hours, we always get to bring to you Pansaka, a program that talks about issues to do with vintu vamene vichitika pamwambo or kapena culture. These are the things that we talk about. And then Friday, do not forget, we do not leave behind people that love sports. So sports comes through Friday at 21 hours. And then also we get to bring to you on a Saturday news review. Mr. Hamoonga, good to have you back. Mr. Hamoonga, are you able to get me?
Yeah, thank you very much. Though the network is really misbehaving here. I don't know what has happened. So I'm actually been trying to. Yes, I can get you. Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay.
The issue of people paying at for cyber cases, they are not supposed to pay any monies. If there's any request, which I know people officers do make, is the issue of maybe facilitating their movement from the station to go for Airtel, to go and get the search warrants. Like I said earlier on, if you are going to pay anything, it must be within the normal way of facilitating an officer may move from one point to another. But there is no policy that states that people should be paying for such a service, not at all. Then completion, I think corruption cases taking too long. I think I don't want to go overboard like my colleague from UTHD to go overboard over the case of Sodom. I think the issue of corruption, they are a preserve of the Anti-Corruption Commission, and these are people that are mandated to prosecute these cases before the courts of law. But I'm sure it is also almost the same question, like answer like I gave relating to the question we're asking about our cases when they take long because prosecution agents. No, not at all. Then growing case of sodomy. Today, actually, the minister did issue a statement. I don't know if you are privy to it. I'm sure tomorrow you'll see it in the papers. The cases of sodomy, of course, they are there, but you should know that these cases can only come to the fore after they have occurred. Remember the issue of privacy I told you? So we cannot be in every home as police officers check who is sodomizing who. It's not possible. But once they are reported to the police, our role is to ensure that such persons, they are arrested and so that they know that this is a crime. So other people that are there cannot commit this crime as well. And for your own information, this offense of sodomy carries a very serious penalty of 14 years imprisonment. It's not even like maybe less than, no, it's 14 years, it's fixed. So if somebody is found sodomizing somebody and then is taken to or is there's an allegation of being sodomized, taken to the police, to the hospital, examined and proved that it was sodomized, that is the evidence that is required for us to prosecute someone so that he can be arrested for 14 years in the courts of law. Then the issues of suicide, yes, the issues of suicide are there, but they are not as people want to portray them. Of course, we just had a case where one of the officers shot himself and killed the wife. What we are doing as police, we have the chaplains unit, which actually does offer.
Well, looks like internet is still a challenge, and we do apologize for the break in internet or the break in the coverage. But however, we want to truly thank you, our viewers, for being patient with us and for being patient to still be here and watching this particular broadcast. Be rest assured that we will bring a police spokesperson soon, very soon, before the end of this year to have another engagement with him right here, because so many concerns are coming through. Ribat, thank you so much for coming through in the background, and your concern, or you are making a request for the police command to rebuild the relationship between the people and the police. It is a well-known fact that the challenge is that the people, or few people, know that the police, in fact, a few people, they take the police as their enemies, and that's why you find that even investigations are a bit difficult because people are not free with the police. And you continue to say Mr. Hamoonga was your senior at secondary school, and you are very happy for him. Thank you so much for that. Be rest assured, we'll engage Mr. Hamoonga to come back right here on this very platform and attend to the many different questions and many different things that are affecting us right here. Okay. All right, that are affecting us right here, and we'll definitely bring him back. We do sincerely apologize for network today, but we promise we'll bring him back and we'll continue this very discussion. For now, okay, Mr. Hamoonga, I think for now, I will let you to conclude, and then please, we'll knock back on your doors to have you back, as many concerns are still coming in, and we'll need to attend to that.
Very tough. I think we should be studying them.
Mr. Hamoonga, can you get me? Are you able to get me? Okay, your concluding remarks. Okay, Director, this is where we have to end the program, unfortunately. Like we've said, we promise to bring back Mr. Hamoonga right on this platform and get to continue talking about these issues. Thank you so much for being part of the program. Also, do not forget that Pansaka comes immediately after this program. So today we are still talking about remarriage on Pansaka, but we are taking the law perspective. I've been your host, Lance Sani Banda, and in a short time, we'll be together again on Pansaka right here. Keep it locked. Do not move out or do not despair, as